Many people believe the world is unfair and they're right. But while most cry for justice, a rare few bend the unfairness to their will. The question is, will you be the player or the pawn? Today, I will show you how to think like a leader, not a victim, through the cunning wisdom of Niccolò Machiavelli himself. Let us speak plainly, for truth tastes better without sugar. You may have the sharpest mind in the room, the deepest loyalty, the finest plan, but if the eyes upon you do not see power, you do not have it. In this world, it is not what you are, but what you appear to be that shapes your fate. People believe what they see before they believe what they hear. They will follow a man who looks like he can command the storm, even if he trembles inside, and they will ignore a man with the strength of 10 armies if he walks like a beggar. When I walked the courts of Florence, I learned that image is the first battlefield. Princes dressed not merely to protect themselves from the cold, but to command a room the instant they entered it. Their voices carried not because of volume, but because of the weight their presence gave to their words. Even their silences were deliberate, a pause not of uncertainty, but of calculation. This, my friend, is the art you must learn. You may think that truth is your shield, that honesty alone will win hearts. That is thinking of a victim. The leader knows that truth is a servant to perception. If people see you as decisive, they will believe your decisions are correct. If they see you as weak, even your victories will be dismissed as luck. A victim waits for the world to see their worth. A leader ensures the world cannot ignore it. Perception is not built in a single day. It is forged, moment by moment, through small acts that speak louder than grand speeches. The way you stand when you enter a room, the steadiness in your voice when you speak, the control in your eyes when others lose theirs. Every gesture, every glance, every breath, they are all signals that tell the world whether to respect you, fear you, or forget you. But understand, this perception is not the same as deception. I am not telling you to lie, though lies have their place in the arsenal of the powerful. I am telling you to become the architect of how others experience you. The victim's image is left to chance. The leader's image is designed with precision. If you wish to be seen as calm, you prepare for the storm. If you wish to be seen as ruthless, you do not blink when others do. If you wish to be seen as trustworthy, you make certain your word carries a weight that no man doubts. Even your enemies must believe in your image, especially your enemies. A rival who fears you will think twice before striking. A rival who doubts you will not hesitate. And this is where most fall. They think that private confidence is enough. It is not. Confidence must be visible. It must breathe in the space around you. People must feel it in your presence before you open your mouth. In truth, many who seem powerful are only skilled in the art of appearing so. This is their advantage, and it can be yours. You do not need to be invincible. You only need to make others believe that you cannot be broken. Because when they believe it, they act as though it is true, and their own hesitation becomes the chains that bind them. In every corner of life, politics, business, the streets, there is a game being played, whether you see it or not. Most people enter this game thinking the rules are sacred, handed down by some invisible hand of fairness or morality. They live as if obeying these rules guarantees safety and reward. This is the mind of the victim. They cling to the belief that order is unshakable, that those in power will honor the same boundaries they obey. But here is the truth they do not want to hear. Rules are not sacred. They are written by those who hold power, and written for one purpose: to protect that power. When I served in the courts of Florence, I saw how quickly the game changed when those in command desired it. Laws were bent for friends and tightened for enemies. Agreements were rewritten when they no longer served their creators. And yet, the common man still played by yesterday's script, believing it to be unchanged. They did not see that the stage had been rebuilt while they were still acting in the old play. This blindness is what kept them powerless. A leader does not just play the game, he studies it until he knows it better than those who invented it. He looks for the seams, the cracks where rules contradict themselves, the loopholes that others are too timid to use, and when those cracks are not enough, he makes new ones. The victim thinks bending the rules is dishonorable. The leader knows that the rules themselves are tools, and tools are meant to be used. This does not mean charging blindly into rebellion. The skilled player alters the game quietly, invisibly. He moves the pieces before anyone notices the board has shifted. He aligns allies, changes terms, rearranges the order of events until his path is clear and his enemies are left fighting shadows. The leader's genius is not just in winning, it is in shaping conditions so that losing becomes impossible. If you want to rise above the victim's fate, you must learn to read the rules not as chains, but as suggestions. See who benefits from each one. Ask yourself why this rule exists, and who would suffer if it were removed. Most often, you will find that the rules are not about fairness at all, they are about control. And if control is their purpose, then they can be remade to serve your own control. But know this, altering the game requires patience. Move too quickly and you will be branded a cheat. Move with subtlety and you will be praised for your innovation, even as you dismantle the old order. This is the art of power, not only to win within the rules, but to change them so that victory belongs to you before the first move is made. Most people are slaves to their feelings. Anger seizes them, and they lash out. Fear grips them, and they retreat. Sadness comes, and they collapse. This is the life of the victim, a mind ruled by storms that come without warning. But the leader is different. The leader feels what all men feel, yet treats emotion as a weapon, not a master. When I watched princes at court, I noticed something. Curious, they did not react to insult as common men do. They did not explode when provoked, nor did they crumble under humiliation. Instead, they chose their moments. If a rival spoke against them, they might smile and let it pass, until the perfect day came to strike back, when the blow would wound most deeply. A fool spends his ammunition in the first volley. A ruler waits until his shot will end the battle. You must understand emotion is a currency. Spend it carelessly and it loses value. Show rage at every slight, and soon no one fears your anger. Display sorrow at every setback, and soon no one takes your grief seriously, but use emotion sparingly and it becomes powerful. A sudden, sharp flash of fury from a man usually calm will shake an entire room. A rare, well-timed moment of vulnerability from someone known for strength can win absolute loyalty. The victim's emotions betray him because they reveal his inner state. He shouts in panic, and the enemy knows he is desperate. He glares in jealousy, and the rival knows exactly where to strike. The leader, however, keeps his true emotions hidden behind the mask he has chosen. He decides when to reveal them, how much to reveal, and to whom. His anger may be real, but it is released only when it serves a purpose. His smile may hide contempt, but it keeps his opponent from knowing the next move. Some will call this manipulation. Let them. The world is ruled not by those who feel nothing, but by those who command their own feelings as a general commands an army. You cannot command others until you command yourself. Every emotion must be weighed for its effect, measured against your goal. Ask yourself, if I show this anger, will it bring me closer to victory or further from it? If I reveal this fear, will it protect me or destroy me? The leader understands that even kindness can be a calculated act. A gesture of mercy at the right time can bind an enemy closer than chains. A word of praise can make an ally more loyal than gold. The victim gives kindness freely, without thought of consequence. Leader gives it with precision, knowing exactly what it will yield. To master strategic emotion is to become unreadable to your enemies and unforgettable to your allies. You turn every feeling into a choice, every reaction into a move on the board. And while others are dragged by the current of their passions, you stand at the helm, steering them toward your purpose. When misfortune strikes, most see only the wreckage. They speak of bad luck, of unfairness, of how the world has wronged them. They wait for rescue or collapse into despair. This is the victim's instinct to treat difficulty as the end of the road, but the leader does not see an ending. He sees the opening of a door that others are too blinded by misery to notice. In my time among princes, I watched men rise to power not in times of peace, but in moments of chaos. Wars, betrayals, plagues, and bankruptcies, these were the storms that buried the timid and elevated the bold. A vacant throne exists only when its owner falls, and such falls happen in crisis. The leader's mind is trained to search for what others overlook, the chance to gain when all seems lost. Adversity is a test, but more than that, it is a disguise. It hides treasures in places no one wants to search. When the city is in panic, when markets crumble, when allies vanish, there, in the rubble, lie opportunities so great they could not exist in calm times. The victim wastes those moments by mourning what is gone. The leader asks only, what can be taken? What can be built here that could not be built before? To see opportunity in adversity, you must remove the lens of fear. Fear narrows the eyes, making every challenge look like a wall. The leader trains himself to see not walls, but doors. This requires not blind optimism, but ruthless clarity. You must examine the disaster for the advantages it creates: weakened rivals, desperate allies, shifts in the balance of power. Often, the very thing others curse is the thing that frees you from the chains that once bound you. But opportunity is not enough. Timing is everything. In adversity, the landscape changes quickly. Those who act too late find the crown already claimed. Those who act too soon risk being crushed under debris not yet settled. The leader waits just long enough for the right moment, then moves with precision. He strikes while others are still stunned, securing ground before they have even realized the rules of the game have changed. You must also understand that adversity exposes the truth about people. In calm waters, every ally smiles. In storms, you see who will hold the rope and who will cut it. A leader uses this knowledge to refine his circle, keeping those who prove themselves and discarding those who falter. The victim feels betrayed by such revelations. The leader feels grateful for the clarity, for it spares him greater losses later. Opportunity in adversity is not about pretending hardship is pleasant. It is about refusing to let hardship pass without gaining from it. Every loss, every setback, every blow contains a seed that will grow only if you seize it before another does. While the victim curses the rain, the leader plants in the mud, knowing that when the sun returns, he will harvest what others never thought to sow. You have now walked through the four chambers of the leader's mind. You have seen how perception can make the weak appear strong, how control of the game bends the world toward your advantage, how mastery of emotion turns feelings into weapons, and how adversity itself can be a forge for power. The victim drifts wherever the winds push him, hoping the storm will show mercy. The leader shapes the wind, steers through the storm, and claims what others were too afraid to reach for. Power is not granted to those who wait, nor is it preserved for those who deserve it. It belongs to those who understand its nature, that it is built on image, maneuver, discipline, and the relentless hunt for opportunity. If you choose to think like a leader, you must abandon the comfort of blaming the world, for the leader holds himself responsible for bending it to his will. The path is not gentle, and it will not make you loved by all. But love is a luxury and leadership is survival. The question, then, is no longer whether the world is fair, it is whether you will rule it or be ruled by it.